good? What's good? What's happening, everybody? How are you doing this evening on September the 14th, middle of the month? Welcome to another edition of Real Talk for Real Men, right here on YouTube channel and, of course, on Facebook. And my show is part of the TFG family of shows. So you can find us on TFG Ratchet, TFG Uncut, again, Facebook or YouTube. And so welcome to our Wednesday edition show midweek. You know, it's a tough week, but we're here. We're going to do what we do. So let's get my co-host to join us, and we'll see what we can pop off tonight. This is Mac from Memphis. What's going on, Memphis?
What's going on, Black? How are you?
Oh, I'm tired today, baby, but glad that we're on hump day. How are you?
I'm all right. Let me just say it like this. If you're one of those people who tune in to us and you like to steal from people and steal people's shit, your mama's a hoe. Let's just start it off right there. Your mother is a hoe, okay? Quit stealing from people. Shit.
All right, so we're going to have that kind of night. And in case you haven't noticed, on TFG Uncut and TFG Ratchet, where you can find us, we cuss here. We talk grown folks talk, And Mr. TFG himself, this is the real estate insider. What's going on, partner? This is the man himself, the legend, the myth. This is Mr. Doing It All. This is the absolute Barry Gordy of social media, Mr. Lamar. And in case you haven't checked out the Real Estate Insider, you're missing one fantastic ride. My brother Kenny, what's going on, fam? I thought I sent you the link. Well, I got to make sure I get to send a link to my brother. I believe I sent it, but let's make sure you get this link, my brother. I'm always in a better place when Brother Kenny's in this joint.
Most definitely. Is it not? I see it in the comments. Must not be able to get it from there.
Brother Kenny, we won't go another further until you get that. I sent you that link, my brother. So hopefully check that joint out and pop on in and see us. I got my sister coming in from New York City. What's going on, sis?
Hey, brother. Hi, Tasha.
What's going on, Sherry? How are you?
Okay.
Good.
Yes, sir. Well, how are things in New York, and how is Miss Eloise Young doing?
She good. You stupid.
I'll tell you. So hopefully we get Miss Eloise. In case y'all don't know, my mom will be turning 87 years old on Monday. So we are blessed, and I am so proud, to have my mom living this long. So it don't get no better than that. I can tell you that.
I'm sorry, the light glare, but this way I gotta be to get sanity.
You all right?
That's all right.
You all right, sis? Yeah. We just hanging out for a couple of minutes, so I'm giving Kenny a chance to pop in and catch the link. Brother Ken, I sent it again. It's sitting in your box. I'm going to send it to your Instagram as well, just in case for some reason you're not getting it on Facebook. But hopefully you should have that link. But anyway, while we're waiting on Brother Kenny, let's jump into what we're going to talk about. We know that the weather is changing. I don't know wherever you at, the weather is actually changing. We heading into boo season. My sis called it cuffing season. And so the nights are going to be getting longer. The weather is changing. So you know what that means. Hopefully this is indicating if you got somebody, this is an opportunity for you to snuggle up with that right person, and do the damn thing. So as part of my sex series over the next couple of weeks, we are going to be having a frank, open, and honest conversation about sex. Now, I want to tell you guys first, if you can see in my background, I've recently moved to a new place, so everything looks a little discombobulated. Hey, it is what it is. This is real. That's why they call it Real Talk. But last week, we talked about harmful habits that can prevent good sex. So guess what we're talking about tonight? We're talking about 12 tips for better sex. 12 tips for better sex that we're going to be discussing. There's my brother from Texas. What's going on, my brother?
Evening, family. How y'all doing?
What's
Doing
up?
all right. Doing all right.
Good.
So we're going to jump into this thing. We got 12 tips to talk about for better sex. and some of us are having it, and some of us ain't. Some of us are wishing that we get somebody, so we're going to comment on these topics, whether we're talking about the now, the here and the now, or in past memories. But we're going to talk about them as we do and see if we can glean something from this. So the very first one is obvious. An orgasm. Have an orgasm. Now, before I talk to you guys about the benefits of having an orgasm, why do you think, though, for on a serious clinical note, that this is number one? That one of the things for great sex is to endeavor to have an orgasm. Why do you think this was the number one thing on the list? And as I'm looking at Tasha's brain,
right. right. The wheels are turning. I see them. Yeah.
With it too.
Yeah.
But why do you think an orgasm is at the top of the heap?
I mean, isn't that like the whole? I'm sorry. To me, that's the whole purpose of sex. Is to there has to be like an end goal, is there not? And the end goal has to be to finish. To me, that's I mean, like if you're not doing it to finish, what's the point of doing it?
Okay, so by your logic, if the orgasm doesn't happen, it's incomplete.
Absolutely. And it's and it's one of those things too. It's a lot easier said than done. It's way different for women than it is men too.
That's why I'm asking that question.
Exactly. Right.
That's why I want to be clear. Black Hollywood Report says it helps to keep stress down, which I agree 1,000%. I'm going to give you some reasons, but that you say that, Tasha, you just opened up an interesting can. I think I'm only speaking as a man, it's much easier for us to get that nut than for a woman to get hers. So if that's the case, are you telling me then that if I'm putting in that work, sweating and humping and pumping and going, and she don't get hers, that I done left the job incomplete?
Yes, you do receive an incomplete on the job. However, there's different types of orgasms women can have. So there's different types of them. So and when you start getting into that, as far as penile, like penetration G-spot orgasm, it's a lot more difficult for women to obtain it unless they're in a few positions. Now, even if you are, as you said in your words, humping, pumping, sweating, putting in the work, you can still give her a clitoral orgasm. And that, to me, those are a lot easier to do.
Educate me, baby. Educate me. Brother Lamar, Mr. TFG himself, he says out here a lot of women don't achieve orgasm. And we know that's true. There are women out there right now in 2022 that ain't never had a nut. But okay.
well, they're achieving them now with the rabbits and all this other stuff. So that's a whole another topic.
That's the clitoral orgasm that they're achieving. That is just straight, create, whether it be with the hand or with the man's body, like when let's say you're in missionary, for example, and it's the man on top. Okay. You, as a man, you can't just be going just like up and down like this. You have to push in and go more, horizontally like this, in order for a woman to be able to better achieve an orgasm that way. Now, for my ladies, if you've never experienced a G-spot orgasm from sex, then it's easier to obtain it if you are on top. Much easier, or even doggy style, because they have a better angle of where your G-spot is. Some women don't obtain them because they don't know they don't know a lot about what's going down here, and a lot of them don't even realize that there's different types of orgasms. You can also get one anally too, but that's just for a whole different group of people. Okay,
I'm loving this. And Black Hollywood asked the perfect question. So which type of orgasm feels better for a woman? Because
G-spot.
we don't have the luxury of naming our nuts. A nut
Right,
is a nut
exactly.
is a nut.
Yeah, yeah.
The G spot orgasm is far more satisfying, and you get a much better. Well, I can say for me, it's far more satisfying. You get a much better rush. You instantly feel, relaxed behind it. I'm not saying the other way isn't any good either. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's much better. And when you do have the pleasure of being able to obtain those, you won't want it any other way. It won't be as satisfying.
All right, Sherry. Tasha's educated us quite a bit. What do you have to say on this?
I mean, really, usually a lot of women don't attain them, but usually it's easy to obtain to get your G spot hit when a man is stimulates your mind, body, and soul. Like if you have that, because some people just fucking because they want to fuck. You know what I'm saying? But if you have that deep love and feeling for the person, and you find them sexy, and you add all that all in one, that usually works better.
Okay. Something a little wrong with your mic, but I'm only going to give you a little bit of push. I like what you said, and in theory, that is fantastic. But I'm going to give you a little bit of pushback. I done fucked a lot of nasty, no good bitches that I couldn't stand, and I didn't give them no kind of loving words or nothing like that. And their legs were still shaking, and they got what they needed. I went on about my way. So there was no love in there. There was no care. Half of these bitches I didn't even like. Some of them only fucked from behind because I couldn't stand to look at their face, and they still got an orgasm. So I'm just saying, I'm just saying. But let me give you the clinical reasons why an orgasm is so vital and important. The orgasm is not just about the fact that it's fun. An orgasm releases a flood of the hormone oxytocin. So when Tasha's talking about that instant relaxation and feeling better, this is what improves your mood. And so with an orgasm, regular orgasms, it actually it's been proven that it benefits your overall heart health. It reduces stress, as Mr. TFG talking about. It helps with depression. It improves your self-esteem, and it even helps you sleep better. All of these are reasons why the orgasm sits at the top of the heap. It even goes on to talk about snuggling together. Sherry, this is what you're alluding to. Snuggling together after the orgasm, makes you feel closer to your partner and enhances your sense of intimacy. So that's what you're talking about now. Anybody who know me, I don't snuggle. I don't like to snuggle. If you do make it to my bed, that means I kind of like you enough that I'm fucking you on a regular basis, but you still got to go at 3:00 because I like to sleep alone. So you only gonna get so much snuggling out of me. You know what I'm saying? Master Prophet Levi T says it's best to have a daily dose of orgasm. I agree, and that's why even for men and women, they masturbate because it does release that chemical and releases stress and things like that. Now, me, I've never been a big fan of orgasm. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I ain't never been doing it right. So that's why, early on, I like head. I wasn't very good at jacking, so I had to be ahead of my time and find nasty bitches who like to suck dick. So
it's interesting that Master Prophet Levi T, he brought that up because from the male perspective, one of the kind of I ain't gonna say a health benefit, but a preventive maintenance benefit that I've read that for men is it could actually your chances of getting prostate cancer reduces the more orgasms you have. I've read that. It's definitely. I mean, it's better for men to have regular orgasms because it cuts down their chances for having a prostate. And then another thing, I think now back in the day, the orgasm was really all about the man and procreation. I think when you thought about orgasm, it was about just getting a woman pregnant and having kids, but it wasn't about having great sex. That's all it was supposed to be,
Right.
But now it's the flip. So yeah, orgasm. I say it like this: an orgasm a day keeps the doctor away. How about that?
I agree. And as we move on to number 2, we ain't even talk about me and Tasha was talking about this the other day. We're not even going to mention the fact that an orgasm keeps a man from choking a bitch too. So
Oh man.
cuts down on crime. I'm gonna tell you.
Oh
Think about
man.
it. Yes, think about it. Number two, a great tip for better sex. This should be a no-brainer. Communication. Now, I just alluded to my own record, but I'm gonna talk about this one too. Why is communication great, beneficial for great sex? I want to say it that way.
I think is if you can be open with your partner and communicate what you want and your needs and how you want to be touched and what you need sexually, that definitely makes for a better sex life with your partner. Now you have to have that person that's willing to listen and be willing to, if you're not doing it correctly, be able to, okay, I want to make sure I make you happy and we make each other happy. So you have to be on the same page. So definitely communication will lead to better sex if both people are willing to listen to one another.
Absolutely, absolutely. Which brings me to a question I want to ask my ladies on the panel. We as men, we have a tendency, I think, sometimes to be a little embarrassed if, we're not ringing that bell, so to speak. What is your experience with men in terms of being able to listen, to stop and listen, to have a woman take the lead in the sense that, no, that's not right. I'm not enjoying that. This is what I want. How important is that to you?
That's real important because you're not going to just be as you say, humping and bumping and sweating and carrying on me. You got to listen to what I like. You know what I'm saying? And do it right in order for me to enjoy it. It's over for you.
Okay. Tasha?
An eagerness and a willingness to learn, to learn what somebody likes really, can in some cases make up for a lack of experience sometimes. Now, if you've communicated to someone, like several times about what you want, what you like, maybe even going so far as demonstrating, and they still don't listen, then that, of course, you're just going to have like a bad sex. Now, I've had that happen to me. Being in a relationship with someone that no matter how many times I told them, no matter in what different ways I told him and let him know I didn't like it, I didn't enjoy it, it's like that is like one of the main things that contribute to us breaking up, because you don't want to listen. Or even if you are listening, you're not even trying to apply it.
Do you think, Tasha and Sherry, that unwillingness to listen and be taught is a product of immaturity? Do you find like older men are more willing, or does that not factor into it?
I'm not even going to say it's going to be like an age thing. I think it's more of like a pride thing, honestly. Some men just think that they just know, like, no, like you don't know. Some will even tell you like, no, you don't even know what you like. I know what I like. So, but I think it's more of a pride thing. Like they just think that they know how to do it. They don't need any assistance on that. Or maybe I've heard the excuse, well, I've never had any complaints in the past. It's like, well, that doesn't mean that they weren't there.
Very, very true. Brother Kenny, I got a question for you. And I want to read this first, and I want to base it on this factor. When it talked about communication, it talked about being able to, have couples talk about what their wants and desires are, and what they like and don't like. But here's the part I want to have a question about. It says share your most intimate fantasies and desires. If you're too bashful to say those private thoughts out loud, write them down, blah, 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 blah. Now, we know that's probably not realistic. The question I got for you, Brother Kenny, is how often do you think this could be the problem, that from this particular part, where as a man, we might be more willing to say, hey, I want to do this. This is what I've been trying. But a woman maybe how she's raised, or just the idea that that's not feminine. Oh my God, I don't want to say that. And so they hold shit back like we're supposed to be mind readers.
Oh, that happens. That's big. I mean, that happens a lot. I think sometimes men will hold back on really communicating, expressing themselves on something that they like or they want. Because sometimes the pushback will come from the woman, say, well, who was that that trick. You must have some other trick must have did that to you. I don't rock like that. So a lot of times as a man, we may want to get a little bit more freaky, but then we feel like, okay, this she may not be there. How do you overcome that? I still think you have to just, we all grown. You just have to communicate it. Either they get right or get left. At the end of the day, I mean, that's really that's what happens. And I would say this about men too. A lot of times we can't. Every woman is different. You don't start just like every cars are different. Every cars ain't gonna start the same, and they ain't gonna ride the same. Just because you was putting it down with one woman and it was great, the next woman, her body is gonna be totally different. So, we got to get out that habit of we putting it down for her. Then, I know I got it right. It don't always work like that.
Absolutely.
And don't be shaming people for what they like either. Like, I think sometimes that could be a big thing too. And this is for both men and women. If you're having a conversation with someone about what they like, and what they are desiring, don't shame them and don't like make fun of them like in their face about it. Because that'll make them, unwilling to maybe like tell you like in the future.
That's true.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that is where that communication. Sherry, I'm only muting you when we're talking somewhat because there's a lot of feedback coming from your mic. So whenever you want to say something, I'll unmute you. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah, just slow. But so absolutely. Now just welcome Brittany.
Hey, what's up, Britt?
So very good tips. Very good tips there. In the interest of time, let's move on to the next one. Another good tip for better sex is changing things up. And this kind of, bleeds into where we just left. Tasha, you talk about not, making people feel ashamed or embarrassed, for what they like. How important is it, though, to change things up? Because I can say from personal experience, I have been with women that even if it's something they like, that's all they want. That's all they want. And I know men probably do the same thing too. I remember watching a movie one time with Robert De Niro and Leonardo DiCaprio. And I forget the name of the movie. The character who's playing Dwight, whenever he would have sex with the mom, he only wanted to do it from behind. Not in her butt, but he only wanted to do it from behind. And that's the only way he had this whole thing where he didn't want, and I remember distinctly in the rules, she said, well, no, I want to look at your face. He felt ashamed with her looking at him, and so he actually, for him to enjoy it, he would push her head in the pillow so she couldn't look at him. You know what I'm saying? And what that made me think about that is how many men are uncomfortable getting their dick sucked with the woman looking at them because it just throws their whole game off.
that reminds me of Bernie Mac and Keys of Comedy. I don't know if you remember that part when he was talking about. Anyway, go ahead.
It was so much. But he was. What he made a joke out of is very real, though. Yeah. That for some people, believe it or not, looking at each other, some people like to do it only in the dark. So, what about changing it up? How important is that?
That's very important. To keep it fresh, to keep it new, to keep them interested. It is important because, again, and also this is about like expanding, your horizons, learning learning more about yourself, adding something extra to your arsenal, But no, it is important, always, you just for yourself, I can only, again, if you just take yourself personally and what you like. Yes, you may know like what you're comfortable with, but just push the boundaries just like a little bit. I'm not saying you got to go from 1 to a 10 quickly, but just push it a little bit and just really get to know yourself. Be willing and free, and like I said, eager to learn, because it could lead to even better sex.
I love that point. And for us, the other three on the panel, Sherry, you got something to say? Oh yeah.
I wanted to ask the question. So does that go both ways? Because when a man is eating a woman out, you have people that don't want you to look at them?
Well, I think that's a different situation because the mechanics of it, like, okay, and just think about what you're asking, like if a woman is kind of laying back, sitting up, Yeah, I guess theoretically I could be eating some pussy and look up at her, but why would I? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, it's just a little different dynamic.
Right.
It's a little different dynamic.
Because
But
y'all just taught me something, because I wouldn't have known that a woman will be giving oral sex and some men don't want you to look up at them.
a lot of men are uncomfortable.
Yeah. Some men are uncomfortable with that. Right.
With the woman looking at them, just meeting them eye to eye. And so Bernie Mac, when he told that joke, he made it funny, but it was a very accurate joke. He said, well, what you looking at me for? What you want me to say? You're doing a good job, you know?
Right.
But he was speaking to a bigger issue that for some people, when it comes to sex, that eye contact throws them off. You would be surprised, even with men, that you'd be surprised how many men rather have it dark, you know, and so that they can. Look, don't get me into the psychology of that. I don't want to get into that. But where I was going with this one, when it comes to changing things up, you know, man, I kind of lost my thought there, because I was going to ask Kenny a thought in particular, you know, because this talks about moving from the bed to the floor, the bathroom, the kitchen counter, watching a dirty movie together, introducing sex and toys and things like that. And here's my question for us three on here, because Tasha is the resident young person, you know. What are you, Tasha, millennial?
Yep.
Oh,
millennial. So I think, you know, with, you know, us, we fall into that traditionalist and Gen X, or whatever the hell we are. We older.
I think we the Gen X. Yeah.
So the question for me, Kenny, and Sherry is, Tasha said about, she did a little humble brag there about adding something to her arsenal. When's the last time you added something new to your sex arsenal?
Ooh, good God, man!
When she said it, it made me think.
Yeah, that's a damn good question too.
Really good point.
It's probably for me. Probably a couple of years ago, I stepped out into the deep end of the pool. I got out the kiddie pool and tried some, you know, to see if I still had a little something. And the person that I was with, and it was it worked. I just say that. So yeah, I was willing to step out of my comfort zone, because I'll be honest with you, I'm at that, I'm that old rooster now, or whatever you want to call it. Right, and a lot of times you ain't trying to change it up. And I know this off the top, because that's why I kind of like to be with women that's a little younger than me, because a lot of times they're gonna keep you,
absolutely,
keep you moving forward, so to speak.
Absolutely.
No disrespect to women my age, because they in their sexual peak now, but
and I think that's why they might prefer younger men for the same reason.
Right.
Because I think maybe the assumption is that I ain't getting no old man who gonna be fucking with his black socks on and slipping in. So they might be thinking the same thing, you know, that they want somebody to do challenge. Sherry, the question is to you as well. When's the last time you added something new to your sexual repertoire?
I haven't. And to be honest with you, I don't plan on it, because I mean, shit, it ain't nothing new for them to be doing with me. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I hate the term doggy style. I ain't no dog and shit. I don't like that. I don't want them to be thinking, oh, let me get this dog. Hell no.
Seriously, hell to the dog.
That's what it is. I'm like you, Brother Kenny. It's, you know, when you said that, Tasha, it made me realize it's been years. And the arrogance in me is that I know what I'm doing. But you just made me open my eyes that, not that I don't know what I'm doing. Of course I know my way around, but you know,
Tasha,
I need to think about adding something to the tool belt.
Tasha gotta tell me about some moves and shit, because I don't know about that type of shit.
You know, well, I just sent the video before this show where the one, the woman.
Yeah, I responded to it. Yeah, I saw it, Black.
Like you just said, I'm not going that far.
Oh, hell no, not that
not
far.
Gonna do. There's certain things in this new generation. Now the men are pinning their legs back. And I've even seen sexual positions where the man is laying down, the woman straddles him, and is doing him. I'm not doing that. I'm never doing that. And that is not even the fact that I'm a fat man. I could be 175 pounds and you're not gonna pin my legs back. So that's just not gonna happen. Certain shit just it ain't meant for me to do. So when I set the video out, it had nothing to do with this show, but he laid him down. And what was odd to me is that even when she went around him, he kept his legs.
He kept him back. Yeah, that was odd to me too.
He knew he knew what was going on, just to be, and he was a willing partner, a willing participant in it. Because you never know. Not only is it adding something else to your arsenal, but it's opening up something that you didn't even know that you had like a little kink for.
I ain't gonna never have no kink for having my legs bent back. So a certain thing.
Nah, Tasha. Nah. I'm open, but I ain't that damn open.
So now you done went too far.
Kenny going to my I see this leg.
I clicked out that video so quick after I saw that boy with his blades bent back. I said, man, let me get out this video. And I promise you, it wasn't even related to this. It was just something I just happened to see. But okay. Another good tip for better sex is making time for intimacy. Now, why is this important? Why would this improve sex? We can have sex. But what's the point? Because Tasha, you brought up something in the very beginning. And again, I gave a little, no, you didn't, Sherry did, and I gave a little pushback. Why is intimacy vital to better sex?
Because when you both of y'all got that kind of feeling for the person, then the sex is much better.
Hold on, say that again.
I said when you got that intimate feeling for a person, the sex is way better.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So
I'm really challenging this in my mind, but I'm gonna have an open mind and listening to you guys. Anybody else? Why is intimacy listed as one of the tips for better sex?
Well, I mean, in this the scroll, it says making time, and the thing is, this is the old saying, you make time for stuff that's important to you. So if you're in a committed, exclusive relationship with your partner, and intimacy is part of that, you got to make time for it, and that intimacy should be something that both of the people are wanting to work at. But to speak on what Sherry said, I agree. I think if when you really in love and in tune with somebody, and the intimacy is there, it makes the sex even better. And it ain't maybe the greatest sex in the world, but it's just something about if you really into that person, you feel them and they feeling you, the intimacy, it just makes that sex even better.
Okay.
And that's been my personal experience, in my opinion.
Tasha, now that the angels have spoke.
The angels. No, I had a little devil on the left shoulder too back in the day.
I believe you got a little devil in you. I believe you got a little devil in us. But you're talking to two hoes now.
That's true. This is true. Because, like for me, I am, I don't always think you need intimacy. Not always.
That's why I was going here.
You don't always need intimacy to have great sex. Does it help? Yes. If you're in a committed relationship, if we're talking about this, not only like the physical intimacy, but last week we talked about like non-sexual intimacy as well. Right. Yes, it creates, better bonds between you and your partner. It helps to lower, it helps to lower like your inhibitions, your willingness and your eagerness, to really want to please one another. But just some straight up bona fide fucking, Y'all remember that song by Miguel? Quickie? That's me. I don't want to be loved. Okay? I don't need that. Okay? Not always needed.
And that's why I wanted to push a little pushback on it. Don't get me wrong. Of course, in an ideal situation, when you're having sex with somebody that you have feelings for and you made time and you care about their needs and they care about your needs, of course it's going to be better. I think about being married. I think about when I was in love with somebody. Yeah, that's great. That's absolutely great. But to Tasha's point, by far the sex that I've had in my life, it wasn't intimate. There was nothing intimate about it. Nothing at all. A good 75% of the bitches that been with me, they was on their knees, and I'm not just talking about head. I mean, even getting fucked on their knees on a cover in the same kind of funky cover. I would watch it occasionally, but it pretty much was the same cover. And it was going to be there was never going to be anything intimate about this experience. It was all set up and designed for my pleasure and my pleasure alone. So I had to figure out a way to have great sex and it not be intimate. And so where Sherry, you talk about not doggy style is absolutely beautiful because it ain't even about her. I'm admiring my own work. It's
right. Yeah.
And so it's nothing intimate about it, but it was great sex.
I got exactly what you're talking about, Black, and that makes a lot of sense. And and I can say I had a couple of instances where you're right. It was certain things I was like, man, I'm doing it like this. It ain't nothing intimate about it. I'm smashing and dashing. That's really all it was, and it was still cool. It was good, but it was just a smash and dash. So I get what you're saying.
And I love the fact that Tasha, as a woman, sometimes they want that too.
You're right. Yeah. Right. Yeah, I've ran into a couple of them. Yeah, you're right.
You and Tasha, y'all two selfish son of a bitches.
No, because it takes it back to the very first point. It's about the orgasm. That's it. It's about a release. In that moment, that may be all that you know that you need, and that's all you're willing to give is that.
I get it.
So I'll add this last point. Do you know that more than 50% of the time I didn't come?
Oh wow.
That's the weird part about it. I can come from head, but I can't always come from sex. And so for me, it wasn't about the orgasm for me in that moment. It was putting a notch on the belt. It was a lot of it. Sometimes was just about the demoralizing somebody. You had a shit talking woman, and now I got this bitch where I want her. You know what I'm saying? It was about putting a belt around her neck and beating the living daylights out of that pussy, smacking on her ass. And even if I didn't come, all right, I got that pussy now. Get on up out here. So for me, it was still great sex. You know what I'm saying? Because I literally got the hand bug that pussy. You know what I'm saying? So
that's crazy. And it's funny you mentioned that. It was a direct opposite for me. I've never came from head.
Oh,
never.
God. Wow. It show you everybody got a different thing they like.
Kenny, you live in Texas and you haven't caught one of them throat goats out there? Because they be doing it. They be doing it. I'm like, oh my God.
Times the time I went up throat goats, I have it. And I think it's from a traumatic experience. My first time, it was horrible.
Wow. Wow. That makes a difference. That makes a difference. All right. In interest of time, exercise. And I'm going to actually read this one because why do you think exercise fits in here? The importance and value of exercise for better sex. Kenny, there you go. I was hoping you would handle this one.
Man, let me tell you, prior to 2014, when I wasn't really exercising regularly, I wasn't, the erection wasn't the same. It wasn't because I had gotten a little older. Then I committed to being to exercising in 2014, and I noticed once I started exercising, my erections were stronger, was stiffer. I had more stamina. I mean, just everything about it, and it just, I was in better shape. I wasn't fat and sloppy or anything like that prior to then. I just knew that I needed to get back on the exercise regime, and I can tell you, for men, if you want to improve your sexual bedroom activities, at least start trying to exercise 3 days a week. It ain't even got to be a whole lot. 30 to 45 minutes. Do some aerobics, a little weightlifting. I guarantee you, you'll see a change in your sexual performance.
Ladies, I'm gonna let you go last because I want to come behind that, but I want to read this first. It says, working out boosts stamina in bed and puts you in the mood. Exercise also creates a more toned body, which improves self-esteem and makes you feel sexier. It's not clear how much exercise you need to improve your sex life. Start with the standard recommendations: 150 minutes of aerobic activity and 2 days of strength training a week. That's what they recommend. I want to comment how I know this is true, even though I clearly don't exercise. I am fat and sloppy. And it has affected my sex life tremendously. And I'm even going to talk about over the last 5 years since I've been here in Atlanta. When I moved here to Atlanta, I was probably 60 pounds lighter. I was more active and mobile. Tasha can attest to this. Moving to Atlanta was a blessing and a curse. And I'm going to get to where I'm going here. On the one hand, I moved here and I made more money than I was ever making before. I got the apartments. I've lived better than I have. Reliable transportation. I worked less physical jobs. And so all of those were things that I had wanted, that I wanted to take advantage of my education and get paid for what I was worth. That was accomplished. Got that within 3 months I was here. But you know what I lost in the process? Moving from Memphis, where Tasha and I would go on a regular basis. We would go to the movies on a regular basis. We would go downtown on Beale Street and sit out. We were active and get out and doing little different things. Moving here where I didn't have family, I didn't have friends, and all of a sudden I was less mobile, less active. And then the pandemic hit, which really put on the weight and brought in the sedentary lifestyle, and the weight came in a different way. Brother Kenny, I can tell you it has dramatically impacted my sex life to the point where what you're saying, my erections definitely aren't as strong and as lasting. Even my desire to have sex has diminished. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. We're not even going to talk about the aesthetics, that how can I feel somebody with one when I'm not attracted to my damn self. At one apartment, the whole bathroom wall was a mirror. And I got to go in there every time I take a bath, look at myself and shit. And it was, and I got to take a bath because hygiene is that important to me. Well, you have to figure out a way to mentally get past that,
Right.
Because again, I'm not going to hate myself.
Right.
But I'm even now, a lot of times I'm very surprised that I still get pussy when I want. I don't chase it, but I still get pussy. And the crazy part about it is I don't enjoy it as much because I don't like the body I'm wrapped in. And of course I can't perform at the level that I was accustomed to, so I just don't pursue it as much. And this is all because I know with every fiber of my being that exercise would improve my appearance, my sex life, my stamina, my overall mood, all of those things.
And your self-esteem, and key, your self-esteem, more so than anything. Things. Yeah,
all of those things. So
yeah,
that's how I feel. From a woman's point of view, ladies, how vital is exercise and what role does it play in good sex for you?
Exercise is real important. I'm fat. They got to deal with my rolls now. But I have been, a Coca-Cola bottle. Mm-hmm. And sex was, I can say sex was better when you're much smaller. But listen, they have to make it the fuck work right now. I gotta deal with my role, and trust me, I get very acrobatic when I'm doing my sex. Okay.
Okay. All right.
It is important. It is.
Tasha, what role does exercise play for you in better sex?
This is definitely a big one that it does. I'm not fit and fine like I used to be. I'm nice and jiggly, okay? And so and like for me, like this has become like even more like important to me, especially the self-esteem part of it. Because if I don't feel, even I could be in the middle of having sex with somebody, but if I don't like to your Black's point, if I don't like what I'm looking like, that's all I think about. That's all that I focus on. And it's like, I know it's like, obviously he doesn't care. He doesn't care, because if you're having sex with that person, but then that leads to like a whole other line of questioning in your head. Like, damn, he ain't got standards. He fucking with me and he ain't got standards. So I'm having a whole conversation up here.
Yes.
So, it's a big thing. Also, like just overall just being hot and sweaty and everything. Also, like like as you get older, like your back and everything, your flexibility, you make sure your hip abductors are all loose and shit. It's a whole thing.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Welcome to the show,
Yeah.
Toria. I appreciate you serious acrobatics. And Toria says, good evening. Did not get a notification.
What's up, Toria?
Yeah, please, Toria, subscribe if you haven't already on YouTube or Facebook.
Oh, she's on it, Black. Oh, she's on it. Yeah, she's
there you
on
go.
it. Yeah.
And great to have you. Yeah, we're having this real conversation on set, and it's called Real Talk for a reason. We talking about this real, and Tasha, you nailing it, because even when you do have sex, the repercussions behind it, because you're not in the best physical condition, also plays a vital role in good sex too, because even if I have a great session, I can't do it back to back. And so I've said many times on this very platform that I'm looking for a situationship. I can no longer carry the weight of a relationship, because Brother Kenny said earlier, I want a young woman, because again, I want that adventurous spirit, somebody who's out there doing some things. But I only want her 2 or 3 times a week, because I couldn't have no live-in young woman who think we're gonna be fucking every night. I wouldn't be able to hold my end of the bargain up. Now, knowing that you coming over on the weekend, I can save and store up my energy, and this fat man can chug along and put you in a heavyweight bout, But then when you don't know is I gotta go in that bathroom and take an Epsom salt bath. You know what I'm saying? I gotta sleep on the motherfucking heating pad probably, because if I'm lifting your ass up and twisting and this and that, I am throwing out that hip and that back and hurting in places that I ain't used in a while. So exercise is huge.
And sex is great exercise. I know you burn a lot of calories when you have sex. Now, if the woman just laying there like she get ready to make a snowman, then it ain't, the doggone you used to making the snow with the damn snowman. Nah, you ain't getting no exercise like that. But sex is great exercise. It burns calories.
Yes, it is.
I believe those are called pillow princesses, and they are out here where they do not actively participate in said sex. And I will tell you, it's not just in sex with men and women. That's a big term in lesbian relationships, a pillow princess, where they only receive, they don't ever give.
Oh,
I never heard that term.
I never heard that term.
I always have a roll or two on me, because I like to eat me a peanut butter and jelly while I'm getting done. I'm going to be honest with you.
Well, again,
okay, Sherry.
Like I said, exercise though, this is real. This is real. Yeah. I want to jump to another one in the interest of time. So we're gonna jump to the next topic here. What about? I'm gonna skip a couple of these. I think this one I found this one interesting. What about using lubrication? Why do you think this one made the list? using lubrication as a tip for better sex. And it's 2 men and 2 women. So that's why I wanted to go here with this one. I'm gonna start with the women first.
Okay.
With my ladies first.
Well, for me, brother, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't use lubrication because, first of all, I don't suck dick, and I ain't nobody going to my ass, so I don't even deal with that.
But even vaginally, no lubrication is needed.
I would have to be fucking somebody really big, and I don't like no big dicks. I'm not running beyond that. No.
Okay, so you pretty much, I guess, have a big fat wet one anyway. Okay.
Black. This is gonna sound crazy. I've never had to use lube during sex for any sex. Okay, never. I am the one that we gonna fuck up the sheets. Okay, so we got, maybe if it's your house, maybe put down a towel, but I got a mattress here. We gonna fuck up the sheets. So I have not. But now, as far as the reason why you would want to, for some people, they're not able to get. Fuck it. They're not able to get wet and stay wet for long periods of time. I'm telling you, some people are out here. We can stay wet with all the fans on, okay, blowing directly on you. Anyway, don't make a difference, okay?
Oh my!
Because you're right. Some women are different. Tyra says yes. Lubrication.
Resoundingly.
And you and Sherry obviously don't need it.
I never used it. I don't know if that's
look, I've had it both ways and everything. Tasha, you better be glad. Nothing like a good wet pussy. That's my best friend there, but
and for some people, they think like it's like a joke or that you're just saying it like for effect. I'm not saying it for effect. I'm not as a woman. I'm not saying I ain't never had no problem like that. I'm just telling you what I know and what I can prove. Okay, that's all.
I feel you. So I show you difference in people. Brother Kenny, how important is lubrication or good sex for you?
For me, for men, I think, we don't really we just need a good wet mouth. Outside of that, I don't really need the lubrication. Now, for the woman, I've been with one young lady that she couldn't stay. She couldn't stay, just like Tasha said. She could get wet, but she wouldn't stay wet during the duration. So, yeah, this was old school. Yeah, I pulled the damn Vaseline off the goddamn dresser. We figured that damn thing out, and we kept it rocking. That's old school. So I think for men, I'm cool. I'm cool with it if the lady I'm with want to use it. But I'm like, okay, yeah, I guess. Tasha talk about spit on it.
So
spit on it.
Right there.
I ain't spitting on it.
Well, me and Tasha, we go hand in hand because
I know y'all some nasty, filthy no goods.
There is a reason why I drink when I'm fucking. Is sometimes I have to use the spit, saliva, and liquor for lubrication. It's nothing wrong with taking a drink and spitting in that thing and keeping it moving, because I find that lubrication is absolutely vital. And Tyra, that's why you have to come to Atlanta, man. You have to fuck because anyway, but that's a whole nother story.
Well, there you go. Might as well throw it out there.
Spit on me.
Wait, are we doing
sex? It's gonna be a fight.
And I spit, you won't even know it. If the guy's doing it right, you won't even know spit's involved.
No. Time out. Yes, the fuck you will, because you will feel the temperature change. Yes, the fuck you do know when they've spit down there. You do know.
Yeah. If you doing it right, then you ain't gonna even know.
Yeah.
You pull that thing so quick and spit on that thing and go back in there.
But you know what though? But seriously though, like to your point, like as far as like lubrication, there's nothing wrong with it. But I would ask, are you saying, or is this specifying using lube like when you going raw or with a condom?
I'm glad you asked that question because that's where I was going. The reality is I need lube, especially if I'm using a condom. And that is what in many cases contributed to the fact that me not being able to come is the fact that now I got a condom on and the pussy ain't staying wet enough. So right when I'm kind of feeling, getting some rhythm and everything, then it's slowing down because the pussy is drying out. Or on the flip side of it, I can't nut. This gonna fuck y'all up because now the pussy is gushing so much that I can't feel no friction even with the condom. So that's why head has always been vital to me because it's either been either or. Either I got to keep on coming out, putting on lube. And Kenny, you talked about Vaseline. I made that mistake many times because good old fashioned Vaseline is great, but of course the condom gonna tear. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? When you put that on there, and then like I said, if it's just too gushy, then this is why this is real talk. But this is one of the other reasons why my balls and pubic area is shaved as clean as a baby's bottom, because I didn't like the sticky, nasty juices getting into my pubic hairs, and then
too much information, bro. Too much information.
This is a PSA, a public service announcement for everybody just to go raw. We ain't using no lubricant. Everybody just fucking raw.
And I couldn't always do that. One raw, as y'all know, got me chlamydia 4 times in a row. So I love it because the feel of it, but lubrication is truly vital. It is absolutely vital, and even more so with the condom. And so after I had my epiphany of dealing with STDs, of course I have to screw with the condom. So now I had to keep stocked up on certain types of lubricants and stuff, just to try to get something out of it. So yeah, I thought that was a big one. Look, folks, we got 3 minutes left.
One more.
Tasha said one more in there.
One more. Why not? To see where this article is going.
All right. Let's see. I'm gonna pick a good one then. Okay. Oh, this is a good one. What about the value of doing Kegel exercises? This was a tip for better sex. Educate us on why Kegel exercises improve sex.
Because your vagina is essentially like a muscle. And so what's the better way, to work it out, to make sure that you can still have like a nice grip to it? Because even after, as you get older, as you have children, as you go, your body goes through different things, you can over time become, like loose. You can loosen up. I'm not saying where the pussy just gonna fall out of itself, but I'm saying you can loosen up. So it's always nice, and that's always a nice little tip and trick that you can pull from your arsenal if you're able to do, where you're able to do Kegels, because it's a nice sensation for the man.
So let me read this really quickly before anybody else comments, in case they are unsure about the value of Kegels and things like that. Kegels strengthen the pelvic floor muscles that support the bladder. They also relax the vagina to make sex more comfortable, improve blood flow down there, and make it easier to reach orgasm. To do these simple exercises, just tighten and relax the muscles you use to hold in pee. And then here's the catch. They're not just for women. Men who practice Kegel exercises have better erections and more intense orgasms. And that I did not know. I did not know.
Yeah, I did know that, and I think they also you last longer too, the stronger your pelvic muscles are. But I did know that. I had read that. Mm-hmm.
And if you do them well enough, you can as a woman, you can bring yourself damn near to an orgasm by doing your Kegels right.
Oh wow!
Education again. Here's another reason why I'm failing so miserably in the sex department. I'm an obese older man with diabetes. So shit. When I gotta pee. I'm not holding shit in. I gotta get up. I have literally pissed on myself a couple of times.
Hell, your ass gonna have to start wearing some Depends then, bro.
I'm not too far from it. I did not make it all the way in.
Oh, I was not expecting you to share that.
You know what I'm telling you? This is I have been out running errands and I couldn't get the key in the door quick enough, and I've had to open the door and like fuck it and just stand there and be a
I was not expecting you to share that at all.
You said where the hell with it. I'm at home, so you like the hell with it. I'm at home, so well.
And at that point, I got to just take all my shit off and just deal with it.
So during sex, if you gotta pee, what you do?
I gotta pee. I can't hold it.
You pee in a woman?
No, I got to stop.
Oh,
You know, having high blood pressure, diabetic. When I have to pee, I have to pee. Now, when I have my numbers under control and I've been drinking enough fluids and all that kind of stuff, then it goes away. But when my blood pressure is up and stuff, and so I did not know Kegel exercises. Again, I've learned some stuff from my own show, you know, and everything. But yeah, you know, this is another thing that we learned that could improve sex, and absolutely. And again, ain't nothing like being in some good pussy where they got good pelvic control. You know what I'm saying? They can grip that because I've been in enough big open pussies that you know.
Man, you are wild, bro. You are wild.
And then be putting lubricant on. It's like you in a tunnel, my brother. What is you doing?
You in a damn slip and slide.
Absolutely. In a lot of cases, these was the ones that fucked around their pussies too much with them roses and cucumbers and other shit. So I'm just gonna say. Lastly, let me share the one we missed. The value of seeing a doctor, planning an overnight trip, relaxation, being affectionate, and just taking your time. It's a great list. In case you don't know, it really was a great list of things. And although we've had some fun with it, I do hope that you learn some things from it. Look, we discuss it the way we do it because that's how we do a real talk. But in the midst of it, I hope you learn a few things and can see yourself in some of the fun and laughter, but also learn some things from it, because at the end of the day, I am doing this sex series because I do want people to get something out of it. You know, if you got somebody, I literally told somebody this on a phone call today. This was a professional conversation, and we were talking about exercising in couples, and I made the comment that when you have somebody, it's been statistically proven that when you're in a relationship, you live longer, you're healthier. When you have somebody that's worried about your health, your physical well-being, to nag you about what you're eating, what you're putting in your body, and how you things like that, it matters. So as we head into cupping season, I do wish on people who got somebody, if you get somebody, pick the right person. Pick somebody that gives a damn about your health and want to have great sex with you. So, you know, like Tasha always say, don't find those cats out there for you women that just looking for a place to bed down for the winter. You know what I'm saying? If you can, select wisely. Get you somebody that give a damn about you, you know, and even for us men, you know, same thing, you know. I think I can say this. I think Brother Kenny would agree with this. We're at a place in our life where I would rather have great sex than just sex for just the fact of fucking.
Right. I agree.
You know, so we have become more selective even in what we're looking for. So I do wish great sex on everybody, because again, as we said at the top of the show, it's nothing like feeling good about yourself, you know, and releasing those hormones that make you a better person and better to be around. So I hope you've enjoyed that show. And I know we went over a little bit, but if you've enjoyed the show, as always, I want to have my brother Kenny tell you where you can find not just real talk, but all of the content from TFG.
Yeah, and this was a great show, and I hope everybody enjoyed it. We want to thank Miss Tyra, Jenny, Miss Williams, y'all for dropping in. The Real Estate Insider, Lamar Falk, as always. Thank you for joining us. Now, you can catch Real Talk for Real Men with the host, co-host Tasha and Lee Black. You can catch them on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here on the TFG Network. You can catch them on TFG Uncut, TFG Ratchet, and again, Real Talk for Real Men. Now, there's a programming note. They're moving. They're not going to be on Sundays anymore. They're moving to Saturdays. Is that starting this Saturday, Tasha Black? Is that starting this Saturday?
Yep.
So no, they're not going to be on Sundays. It's cuffing season, so it's getting ready to get dark early. So they decided to move to Saturdays. It's going to be at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Am I correct? 7 p.m. Eastern. Okay, 6 p.m. Central. That's on Wednesdays and Saturdays now. So don't forget, you can catch this show with Tasha and Lee Black on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, and on Saturdays, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Central. And it's going to always be great dialogue. Tasha and Lee Black come up with some great topics to make us laugh, but also to educate us on a whole lot of things as well. Now, on Fridays and Sundays, you can catch the Real Estate Insider with Lamar Falk, the Barry Gordy of this ship. You can catch him at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. Central, on his channel, The Real Estate Insider. He goes live. He's showing celebrity homes and all that good stuff. Then you can catch him on Sundays as well. New York in the house. Oh, wait a minute. You in New York? Is Barry Gordy in New York? Okay.
No, I think that was when he was talking about Sherry.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay. Well, that guy right there, Real Estate Insider, you can catch him on Sunday evenings at what's up, brother? You can catch him at, I believe, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time on Sundays as well, where he goes live. If you want to go live, you can even go on with the show and watch it with him. Check out some of the great celebrity homes that they go through. Now, on Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. Central, TFG Tonight with the host, Brenton Haynes, myself, Lee Black, Devin Devine. We're talking politics, we're talking news, whatever's trending, sports, all that, and we're going to educate you. We're going to talk, and we're going to get in some deep dialogue, but we also have a good time on there as well. Now, on Tuesday nights, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6:30 p.m. Central, you can catch me. I'm the sports guy. Yeah, I'm more into sports, but I talk a little bit of everything. Catch me on TFG Sports Media, the TFG Sports Media channel on YouTube. Come over there. We'll talk sports, giving it to you straight with no chaser. We got a lot going on with NFL season has now kicked off. Also on Tuesday nights, you can catch some word. You can get some word in your life with the Minister Val on Pearls of Wisdom. You can catch her on her channel at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And also on Wednesdays, you can catch Forgive Us Later on the Forgive Us Later channel on YouTube with Lamar Falk, DJ Sullivan, and Charles Moore. Again, wash your phones down, sanitize it, put some holy water on it, because them cats go over there, they go hard. They talking crazy, but they will entertain you. That is on Wednesday nights, I believe, at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central. And also, I forgot, on Tuesday nights, the wrap up with Lamar Falk and Charles Moore. You can catch them at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central. They go hard too. Yeah. If you saved and sanctified and filled with the Holy Ghost, you don't want to watch that show, because they're gonna go crazy. They're gonna go nuts. So we got something for everybody on TFG TV Network. Make sure you come and check out Lee Black and Tasha. Make sure if you haven't subscribed, TFG Ratchet, TFG Uncut. And remember, it's Wednesdays and Saturdays now. Not Wednesdays and Sundays. It's Wednesdays and Saturdays. Saturdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Got a great show coming for you guys this coming Saturday. Thanks for everybody watching. Come check us out.
Appreciate you, my brother Kenny. And I will also make some notifications on my platforms to let you know about the change in the time. So anyway, it's been a great show. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. And I want to pass this last thought on to all of you. Stay positive. Whatever you're going through this week, we got this. You know, we recently lost Jesse Powell. Things could always be worse. Rest in peace to Jesse Powell's family. You know, one of the unsung heroes of R&B. And it just makes me realize just how precious life is. So the people that you deal with, tell them you love them, you appreciate them. Give the people their flowers while they're here. And so I want you all to be able to go enjoy the rest of your week and do what makes you feel good. But don't forget to reach out to people you give a damn about and let them know why they're still here, how much you love and appreciate them. And so,
that's what's up.
Sign off. I want everybody to enjoy the rest of their week, and I'll see you on Saturday.
Okay, bye,
Peace
y'all.
out.
Bye.
Peace.